What up, what up, what up, what up? It's your boy P. Skip. Welcome to the best half hour of your entire Tuesday. You know what time it is. It's time to get into his course. My squad with me, T-Mac.
Hola.
Chili Will.
Gracias, amigo.
Let's do this. So listen, I'm excited. It's Super Bowl week, but we got to talk about the NBA. First of all, let's read James chapter 1, verse 8 in the Amplified and the Message. And it says this: being a double-minded man, unstable and restless in all his ways, in everything he thinks and feels or decides. The Message Bible says this: don't think you're going to get anything from the master that way. Adrift at sea, keeping all your options open. I said that because the Brooklyn Nets guard Kyrie Irving demanded a trade from the Brooklyn Nets, and within 36 hours, he was the Dallas Maverick. I want to know how that works because KD wanted a trade at the beginning of the season, and they said, not going to happen. We're not doing it for you. Don't even talk to us about it. But Kyrie asked for one, and he's gone. The thing about Kyrie is every time he makes a trade, every time he's traded, to me, his stock goes down. Because you're with somebody who says, I don't want to be here no more, and I'm gone, and goes. This is where I want to be. I'm here. I'm ready to give y'all all. No, I don't want to be here anymore, and I'm gone. Then you did that and you did that with Cleveland. Then you went to Boston because you didn't want to be under LeBron's leadership. Went to Boston, realized you're not a leader. Then you said, I'm going to go to Brooklyn. Team up with my guys, KD, Harden. I get them to come, and I realize I don't like it here either. And now you go to Dallas. What is his legacy going to be? What is Kyrie's legacy going to be? It's not going to be one of, and here's the thing, he's done this so much. His legacy of, first of all, hitting that three in the championship game against Oakland when he crossed over Steph. Nobody even talks about that anymore. That's not even in the conversation with who he is. Is he box office? Yes. But he's box office for a season. I wonder, just between you and I, between us, y'all, how many games do you think he actually played in Brooklyn for all the money they paid him? I don't even think they got 100 games out of Kyrie. But as you can see, I'm mad frustrated with this whole situation. I'll turn it over to y'all. Go ahead, Will. I know you want to jump in. You like double dutch. I see you trying to jump in.
Hey, I'll say this. I'm glad he going to the West, so we don't have to fool with him.
How do you think him and Luka gonna do together?
Well, I mean, if we see them, it'll be in the championship, so I hope we see them. But I'm glad he gone. We ain't got to worry about Brooklyn no more. Not that I was that worried about him, but with Kyrie and KD, they formidable. But I'm glad he's gone to the West. I know that he got in a lot of trouble with his anti-Semitic liking of a movie or whatever. I don't think he said anything. I think he just told people to go look at a movie. But anyway, it's less Jewish people in Dallas than it is in New York. So from that standpoint, he should catch a little bit of a break. I think this all fell apart when they made him jump through all them hoops to come back and play. And I think his whole mindset was, once I get an angle on y'all, I'm going to take it. And he got it this week when he was playing fantastic. And the team was doing very well. All they was doing was waiting on KD to come back. And then he said, hey, y'all need to give me my cheese right here, right now. And they said, we're not giving you no cheese. He said, well, I got to hit it. So he had them right where he wanted them. If they didn't pay him, he was probably going to be hurt and sick the rest of the year. And at the end of the year, he would have walked away and they wouldn't have got nothing for him. So I think, once again, Kyrie just leveraged his way into a position where he could do something that he wanted to do instead of trying to make the Brooklyn Nets a championship caliber team, a championship contender, along with his buddy. And then see what happens in the negotiations after that. So it doesn't surprise me at all. Actually, it's typical Kyrie. He's a perennial Robin. He's not a Batman. He's a perennial Robin, which is not bad. It's not bad. And my thought was, well, he a starter in the Eastern All-Star game. Now he ain't even in the East no more. How does that work? But I think him in Dallas playing with Luka won't be that hard because he played with LeBron. He played with KD. He played with the bearded one. He played with Tatum and Brown. So him playing with another superstar is no big deal. And I think it'll work out okay for him.
Machiavelli.
Yeah, I was surprised by it. I thought he was going to the Lakers. When I heard that Dallas was in the running before they pulled the trigger on it, I thought that if he gets teamed with Luka, they could be a championship team. I mean, anytime a person, no matter what their vocation or field is, and they are really, really at the top of their game, they're great. All they ever need is just some help. Whether you are a CEO, whether you are a professional athlete, whether you are the ministry or you are a leader, any capacity that you are one that puts forth a lot of productivity, the best thing for you is to get some help. And so Luka, being all world and all that he is to that Dallas Mavericks team, I'm pretty sure he's kind of licking his chops saying, Lord Jesus, thank you for sending me somebody of Kyrie's caliber. They tried it with Dinwiddie, a guy that was a capable enough scorer. He averaged 20 points a couple times, maybe when he was with Brooklyn the first time, but he was not a Kyrie Irving. So Luka having another bona fide superstar, they're going to be super dangerous. I mean, they went to the Western Conference Finals last year. I don't know how they got there, but they have been kind of knocking on the door because when you have a bona fide stud, anything can happen and you have a puncher's chance. And so if Kyrie, just for the remainder of the season, can be less mercurial than he has been throughout his career, I think it'd be a boon to the Dallas Mavericks. They have probably one of the best owners in the league who tries to be a player's kind of guy. He gives them all the accommodations that they need. He understands guys have different personalities. And he himself is kind of an outlier, Mark Cuban, that does things unconventionally. So it might even be a situation where Kyrie can have a bit more understanding with how he chooses to get down in this particular environment. I think Will's point about the culture of New York, having a large Jewish contingent. Matter of fact, New York has the most Jewish people in it, more than any other place in the world outside of Israel. And so I think Kyrie's controversy with that film and his endorsement thereof, and subsequent to him putting it out on his social media, being brought to task on it and trying to go back and forth before eventually relenting, kind of weighed on him a little bit. And I think it was some humble pie that he really had to take in. And I think the continuing off-court situation, moving around Brooklyn, New York, maybe took some, snide remarks from some people, and just the atmosphere wasn't as jovial as it was previously. And for him, it was an opportunity to say, you know what, let me go ahead and just cut bait and bounce. My experiment didn't work. I got my guy KD over here, fizzled out. We brought in James Harden, thought we were going to be a 3-ring circus, and it was a circus, but not in the right way that they were expecting, more in a fiasco kind of a way. And so for him, it was a no-brainer. And I think, to Will's point about the leveraging of the contract, he knew they weren't going to pay him no bread. I mean, their owner had already said in so many words, hey, bro, you skating on thin ice, and I'm only not just all the way dogging you out because I got some dignity about myself, but you embarrassed the entire organization. And as the owner, don't get it twisted. You work for me. I don't work for you. And so I think this was a situation that was best for both parties. I don't think his legacy will take too much of a hit any more than what it already has been. He's already known as an enigmatic player, but he's still one of the best players we've ever seen, the best ball handler ever. And, people still want to root for him. As a Kyrie fan myself, I still like to see him play. He's still must-see TV. He's going to be must-seer TV with Luka. It's going to be a double dip on the must-see TV tip. So it's just a shame that these off the field or off the court antics and distractions have cast a pall over his career, but he's still averaging, 27, 28 points a game, still can fill it up, still can draw attention. I liken it to a young lady. If a young lady is, she's fine, but, she might be maybe a little loose or has some things about her that ain't that cool. But so long as she pretty, a joker gonna still try and holler at her. So as long as Kyrie still got game, he's still gonna be a attractive player to teams, and they'll take the position of, hey, we will be the ones that can quote unquote fix him. And so long as his talent is on display, I think he still will be a hot commodity. The other thing is that because he's only signing for the rest of this season, there's still an outside chance LeBron and LA can still get him. If he doesn't sign an extension with Dallas, they just have him through the rest of the year. Summertime, you have other negotiations. LA can make another strong push for him, and he can maybe get a 4-year deal at this level that he's looking for, as opposed to the 3-year deal that he was offered, by the Nets. So it could be, a coy move on his part, going the roundabout way to get back to LA and LeBron, which to me, I think would be terrific. But it's going to be hard, I think, for Mark Cuban, if they have any modicum of success, to try and relinquish that and not really try and roll out the red carpet for him this summer. So it'll be a little bit difficult, but not impossible for LA to pluck him from Dallas. But I think a lot will hinge on how he and Luka, kind of end up gelling and playing together. And I don't think it'll be an issue either. LeBron was had the ball a lot, and he was able to coexist with him. And Luka, having that relief, will probably be incentivized not to handle the ball or hog it as much, because he won't have to. He has another person. He can just, hey, man, do your thing. I can take a break for a few minutes on the court, or when I sit down, I don't have to worry about coming back in right away, because you can run the show and we won't lose that much, particularly on the offensive end. Defense, we might suffer a little bit, but our offense, I think, can more than cancel that defensive deficiency out. So while it was a surprising move, I think the talent of Kyrie Irving may be enough to overcome any sort of deficiencies that the trade might have done for Dallas. I'm just disappointed that he didn't go to LA, because I would like to see him back with, LeBron on talent tip alone. And they seem to have, worked out any beef that they had, to the point that they can have an amicable relationship and just ball out and see how far they can go, and hopefully relive some of that past glory of championship caliber basketball.
Speaking of LA, how much do you think LeBron, AD, and Russ's contract, as well as the pieces they only have left, is the reason why Russ, because Brooklyn wasn't going to just give Russ away. So they had to get something back. But how much do you think their contracts and what they had on the rest of the team is the reason why he didn't end up in LA?
Let me take that one, if I may, Tim.
Go ahead, Will.
I got a little inside trader information on that, and it's probably more. A lot of people know it, but maybe you guys haven't heard it yet. The owner of the Brooklyn Nets said that he did not want to send Kyrie where he wanted to go, which was LA. LA, actually, their package to the Brooklyn Nets was a better and more attractive package than what the Dallas Mavericks offered. But because the owner of the Brooklyn Nets had a problem with Kyrie and didn't want Kyrie to end up landing on his feet and getting everything that he wanted, he wouldn't consider trading them to LA for that reason. And that's probably out on the internet now, but that's some people I know in the industry has shared that with me, that was also a point that the owner was trying to make.
Yeah, this is one of the biggest soap operas I've ever seen in my entire life, full of grown men. I just look at this and I go, who's going to be grown up in all of this? because it seems like everybody is like, listen, this is my ball, and we're going to play my rules through all of this. But who's sacrificing, who's really paying the cost and the price is the fans. Brooklyn, if I was a Brooklyn fan, I would be pissed off to the highest of festivity. I got season tickets and I never saw the 3 that I got season tickets for. If I rarely saw them, if at all. Kyrie, you come up with all these different reasons why you can't be on the court. KD, you stayed injured. And then James Harden, which now turns out to be the wisest of them all, said, I am out of here. I can't play with these cats. As much as they're talking about he's a fool, how smart does he look now? He looks like a savant right now.
Yeah, he's a genius.
Right.
Yeah, he saw it coming, didn't he?
Yeah, and he called it. I mean, he made the move to go over there because he took their advice and their recruitment in good faith. And It wasn't until he got over there that he saw how dysfunctional that entire organization and that situation was, and he bailed out. Relative to the Brooklyn fans, anecdotally, know a person or two over there, they are tired of it as well. Highly disappointed, thought they had something. It was fool's gold. All that glitter ain't real gold. Right. And for them to have had championship potential, but it fell apart like a house of cards the way it did, was super duper disappointing and left a really bad taste in everybody's mouth. I mean, this clean slate situation is something that they can maybe build from, but Brooklyn has the albatross of Ben Simmons in his contract over there as well. So they're going to have to do some more house cleaning before it gets all the way right. But I think for them, the clean break from Kyrie Irving is a step in the right direction, because it had become untenable. I mean, the organization had bent over backwards, from him not getting the vaccine to missing games to going out on vacation without any heads up, no show, no call. Now we see you out at parties and stuff like that. It was, come on, man. There's a modicum of professionalism that you have to walk in as well. And it seems as if that just really became a situation where both parties said, you know what, I'm through with you. And when it gets to that level, the best thing you can do before it becomes too toxic is to just go ahead and go your separate ways. I think in the long run, both will be better off. Kyrie, he'll be just fine. So will the Brooklyn Nets, although it might take a little bit of time to rebuild that. But it also shows that you can't, quote unquote, I don't want to say they were cheating. You can't kind of cheat your way to a championship either. And they were trying to buy it. Sometimes like a politician will try to get as much ads as he can, get as much money in his war chest and try to buy an election. That's not really how it works, man. The people still have a voice in this. And in this particular case, the league had a voice. And given the way Boston unceremoniously bounced them jokers out of the playoffs last year in the first round sweep, was really an eye-opener of, hey, wait a minute, man, we might not be as good as we thought we were. And so the next best thing is to, okay, well, let's, where does the next shoe fall? And we found out this week that it falls with Kyrie being kicked on out of there.
You know, this whole situation reminds me of a baby's diaper. You could change it, a messy diaper. You could change it, but unless you get it out the house, it still stinks.
Well,
and they've made every change, every accommodation they could for him.
Yeah.
Yet he still had that stinky diaper on him, bro. The stinky diaper smell was there. And so, but they've gotten rid of one of the diapers, but there's some more diapers they got to get rid of in order to be what they need to be.
We got 48 hours before the trade deadline is up. I think it's up at Wednesday at some time. So we got about 48 hours left. And they did get a couple of chess pieces and they may be able to package together and maybe get some of the other things that they need. For me, I think Brooklyn, I think it's over with. I think it's over. The experiment didn't work. James Harden seems to be living happily ever after with Embiid in Philadelphia. They've been pretty hot lately. and playing pretty well lately. So, they got all of their players back healthy. So it's going to be interesting down the stretch for Philadelphia. So kudos to James Harden for seeing the smoke and getting out of the building before it became a blaze like it is right now.
Right. And I think the situation that James Harden is in, even though he's in Philly, he is nowhere near as high pressure as he was in Brooklyn. Nowhere near the amount of pressure.
No, he's not.
Agreed.
Yeah. Now, knowing what you say in the 48 hours, the Bucks have been allowed to have conversation with Jay Crowder, and they're looking to get him for Pat Connaughton and Jordan Nahara. What do y'all think about that trade if it could go?
I say boo for that.
Yeah, I don't like that either.
Yeah, that sounds like
now, if they said George Hill or Wesley Matthews and
Grayson Allen
and Nora, or Grayson Allen and Nora, I'm with that. But Pat Connaughton is a glue guy for us.
Yeah,
he is. He's a contributor. He helps the squad. He has excellent clutch, and he has excellent utility. We can move him in different, places.
Yeah.
I think that would be a disruption that the ends wouldn't justify to me. The return on Jay Crowder, I respect him as a player. He's a veteran, but he is not a difference maker as far as I'm concerned to any squad that he's on. I know they might try and bring him in and have him do a similar PJ Tucker type role, but I don't know that that's necessarily what we need. I would be more satisfied or enthusiastic if we were to try and make a play for a guy like Cam Reddish or somebody like that. Jay Crowder, I'm not rolling with that, particularly with that price point of having to give up those assets to get him. I don't like that trade at all.
I don't want Connaughton to go anywhere. I think Connaughton is one of our guys. I think he might be the second guy to Middleton, Lopez, Holiday, and Giannis. I think he's the next guy in the chain. Even Portis. I mean, I like Portis, and Portis plays well. He does a lot of things for us, but Connaughton is just that guy you can plug in a lot of positions, and he does everything. He rebounds, he shoots, he scores, he defends, he hustles, he hits free throws, he can shoot threes. I mean, he goes to the bucket. I like his game.
Yeah. And that's why I thought, and I think we're all on the same page. I don't know if the ends justifies the means. I really don't think so, because again, if we could package it, but the thing about for me, Jay Crowder is you ain't been playing. So obviously the team don't think they need you. So you can't be worth all that they think you're worth, And I think the Bucks are wise enough to go, we ain't overpaying for nobody and no thing.
And y'all don't even want him. Y'all not using him. He's just on the shelf. So we're giving y'all something for nothing, basically.
Yeah.
Basically, and quiet as it's kept, don't look now. The Phoenix Suns are number 4 in the West.
Right.
They're the second hottest team in the league behind the Milwaukee Bucks. They've won 8 out of their last 10 games.
Without Devin Booker.
Without Devin Booker, who should be coming back tomorrow night. So Phoenix Suns ain't, y'all doing this well without Crowder. We not gonna give y'all our assets for something y'all not using. I hope that that's not the case.
Yeah. I think they're overplaying their hand. I think they think Crowder's worth more than he really is to the league, or at least he may be more to other teams, but he ain't worth that much for the Bucks.
Well, I think another thing is they know that we can just sit on Crowder. We ain't using him and playing him anyway. Some fool gonna give me two Rolls Royces in a mansion for him. Shoot, I'm gonna take it.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, if the Bucks do, how long will it take for him to get back into playing shape, first of all?
Right.
Then contributor shape, second of all.
And then chemistry. Chemistry is important. We don't know what kind of personality he is. How is he gonna fit on the team with Bobby Portis and Giannis? And we don't know.
And how will he react coming back to Milwaukee?
Yeah.
With all his friends, all that could be all a huge distraction for him. We don't know. You don't know what you're getting. And so I could Jay Crowder be an asset? Yes, but he would have to be an asset without giving up assets.
Yeah, at the right price.
Right.
at the right price. Because the reason why he's not playing in Phoenix ain't because he's physically unable to play.
Right.
It's because of personality clashes and other issues.
Right. I agree. So listen, here we go. I need to know predictions for the Super Bowl. Eagles or Chiefs? Eagles or Chiefs? It's a for me, it's a toss-up. Either one of the teams wins, I will be happy. But I'm pulling more towards the Eagles just because of Hurt and because of the way they just been dogging him since he came in the league. So for me, I'm pulling Eagles. Where you going, T-Mac?
I like the Eagles as well. I mean, for the same reasons you talked about. I mean, both teams are great, both likable guys, quarterbacks. First time in history, we got 2 black starting quarterbacks. And Black History Month is like poetic justice, so that's great. Both teams have great personalities, but I think that Jalen Hurts, even going back to Alabama, when Nick Saban pulled him out of that championship game after he was a 26-2 starter while he was there, he went and proved this mettle when he transferred to Oklahoma, went back to the playoffs with another team, showed that he could actually play quarterback. And all this talk about, is he a franchise quarterback with the Eagles? Is he really the one y'all to stick with? Or should they look for another, like when they were asking Jesus, the disciples, hey, are you really the Savior? Or should we look for
John
another?
the Baptist asked that question.
Oh, John the Baptist asked that question, exactly. Are you really the one that we were looking for, or should we ask for another? No, I am the one. Ask the people, the blinded eyes get open, etc. So while Jalen Hurts, name start with a J like Jesus, he didn't open the blinded eyes. He did take a team that nobody suspected to the playoffs last year. And most times a playoff quarterback, you get, love and recognition as being a playoff caliber quarterback. He didn't get that. This year, he did one better, led the team to the best record in the league, probably is the leading MVP candidate for the NFL, and the team is, in the Super Bowl. It is phenomenal. I'm very, very happy for him, and I think it'll be a perfect silver lining to what they tried to make into a cloudy career for him. But I think the biggest reason why I give the Eagles the edge is I didn't know that defense was as phenomenal as it was. They knocked out both the quarterbacks for San Francisco, which were in backup roles recently, but the one starter for them was 5 or 6 and 7-0 coming into the game. They had a multi-game, 11-game win streak, and they just got beat up. And so if that Philadelphia defense shows up like that, the Eagles gonna put it to Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs, as far as I'm concerned. That defense was phenomenal.
Well, for me, I'm joining with you two gentlemen. It's an emotional thing with me. I could live with either quarterback winning, either team winning, but I just want Jalen to get all of his flowers and all of his accolades and win the Super Bowl and sit there with the Lombardi Trophy and say, in the words of the great rapper Kool Moe Dee,
how you like me now? Right.
Yeah.
Right. Right. Give him all the smoke. All the smoke.
How you like me now?
I'm bonafide.
Not the reverb. Okay. Word up.
Yeah, that's what I want.
Word is born, Will. Word is born.
From an emotional standpoint, that's what I want.
No, man, them all facts, Doc. All facts.
Hey, listen, another great show. Meet us right here. Same bat time, same bat channel. Every Tuesday night from 7 to 7:30 for the #1 faith-based sports talk show in the entire world, Into His Court. Until next week, have an amazing